Good afternoon, dear viewers, and welcome to this episode of Vectron TV. Today we'll cover a very special innovation from Vectron, the bonVito customer loyalty system. Many large companies have been using a host of different customer loyalty systems successfully for years to encourage their customers to visit more often, thereby increasing turnover. A variety of systems are employed here, including customer cards and coupons. The success of these measures alone is indicated by an increasing number of well-known brands introducing systems like this. When money is tight in private households, and customers respond very positively to buying incentives like this.
Due to the very complex and costly nature of the underlying systems, smaller and medium-sized companies were not able to benefit from the advantages of a customer loyalty system. In fact, these companies usually have very few options for effectively confronting a sluggish economy. Newspaper advertisement is too expensive for a small company. Advertising letters are also expensive, not easy to create, and often can't be used in a precisely targeted way. Email addresses are difficult to collect without giving something in return. The use of handmade stamp cards, where the customer buys 5 lunches and gets the 6th free, generally works well, but experience has shown that they can carry enormous risks of fraud by personnel and customers. The fact that there's no link between the selling process and the distribution of stamps means that employees can easily fill cards with stamps and collect the rebates themselves. Ultimately, many companies choose the simplest route and hang a sign advertising rebates on the door. The problem here is that 90% of the customers who take advantage of these rebates would have visited anyway, so most of the rebates are given in vain. bonVito changes everything. bonVito gives smaller and medium-sized companies a low-cost customer loyalty tool that requires little effort, yet enables them to get the kind of professional results achieved by larger companies. bonVito is a development of Vectron Systems, a market-leading POS system manufacturer with over 130,000 systems installed in 28 countries. Vectron have recognized that any meaningful customer loyalty system must be deeply integrated into the existing POS system. Because 1. There's no room for an additional computer at the workplace for reading customer cards or coupons. 2. The entire customer loyalty measure must be integrated seamlessly into the transaction process. Additional devices or screens require extra time, are prone to error, and are impractical. 3. Rebates can only be given if customers have actually purchased or consumed something. So the rebate is not issued until after the transaction has been registered at the POS. This is the only way to prevent fraud. All Vectron POS systems can be continuously linked to the bonVito server over an internet connection and can process the customer loyalty functions in this way. This also applies for larger POS networks, especially mobile POS systems in hospitality. An enormous amount of time is saved if, for example, customer cards can be processed directly at the table without the employee having to walk to a central terminal first. How does bonVito work? bonVito is a modular marketing instrument which provides you with a host of different tools. These tools allow you to design and control a wide variety of campaigns. The first tool is the bonVito customer card. It can be supplied with your company motif and logo if desired. Consumers can collect points at the POS with this card. The number of points awarded can be specified for each product here. To use the bonVito card, the consumer must sign in to the bonVito website. Along with their customer card, they can check their customer account information at any time. When the card is used, all of the purchase amounts are saved. You will receive detailed information, such as the last time a customer made a purchase from you and their average turnover. Based on this data, you can address specific customer groups in a targeted way. The second tool comprises electronic coupons. You can sort the customer list according to any desired criteria and directly select certain customers who you would like to encourage to visit your shop again. You can now send these customers an electronic coupon by email or by text message directly to their mobile phone. You can choose whether these coupons are for a specific % rebate, a certain amount of money, or a free product. Naturally, you can specify that a minimum purchase amount must be reached or that the coupon can only be redeemed on certain days of the week. These functions allow you to boost weaker sales days in a targeted way and prevent coupon holders getting unnecessary rebates on stronger sales days. To reach customers who don't have one of your customer cards, coupons can also be added automatically and anonymously to each receipt given out. To effectively prevent fraud, each of these coupons features a unique number and therefore a unique barcode. Each time a coupon is redeemed, the server checks the code to determine whether it has already been redeemed. This makes fraud virtually impossible. The third tool is the electronic stamp. Everyone knows how a stamp card works. You buy a certain product repeatedly from a shop and get a stamp each time you make the purchase. When your stamp card is full, you get a reward. The disadvantage of these manual stamp cards, besides the old-fashioned and expensive production and distribution of the cards, is primarily that of fraud, because it is not possible to determine whether the stamps were really issued by personnel when a sale was made, or whether stamp cards were simply filled up by an employee to collect the reward themselves or to give to friends. In addition, it's not possible to check how many of these stamp cards are really in circulation or actually being used. The bonVito electronic stamp turns the situation completely around. With your electronic stamp, you can first specify the product or product group and the number of times it must be purchased in order to receive the reward. The reward can be a specific product or a selection of products. Now, when a customer purchases a product from an electronic stamp campaign, they will receive the following information on their receipt. The customer will see that they are participating in an electronic stamp promotion and the number of stamps still that are beta collected to receive the reward. The barcode at the end of the receipt is the key to continuing on. When the customer makes a subsequent purchase, they have their previous receipt scanned. The system then adds the new stamp to the existing ones, while the individual barcode number of the first receipt is recorded in the system at the same time. This makes it impossible to use a receipt twice. Once the customer has filled up their stamps, the rebate is determined automatically and indicated on the receipt. A new electronic stamp is opened automatically at the same time. The fourth tool is the direct discount. Almost all customer retention instruments are based on the customer or guest doing something today in order to benefit from it in the future, which is logical since this methodology should ultimately guarantee that the customer returns. Sometimes it makes sense, however, to award perks directly and thus reward the customer immediately. Here the idea is to surprise customers pleasantly during their visit and influence their purchasing behavior in the here and now. To achieve this, the customer can be granted a discount when purchasing permanently defined products or product groups that can be awarded using 3 different methods. 1. A percentual discount is awarded. 2. A fixed currency amount is discounted. 3. A free gift is included with the product. It is also possible to divide customer cards into different classes, such as gold, silver and bronze cards, and then permanently assign these cards to certain discounts. You can thus determine that the holder of a gold card always receives a 5% discount with every purchase, whilst the silver card only receives 3%. In this way, you can put tailored concepts into practice for different customer groups. These promotions can also be evaluated in detail in the system as campaigns. The fifth tool is payment functions. Even here, bonVito offers different prepaid, credit, and gift card models. This prepaid variant enables your customers to load cash amounts on the customer cards you issue, which are then used for cashless payments at your company. You specify the maximum amount that may be loaded on a card. The cardholder can in turn specify the maximum amount that may be spent with the card per month, week or day. This is very useful when, for example, parents give their children a card to buy something to eat during the break at school. Use of the customer card requires the one-time registration of the card on the internet by the respective consumer. The registration provides you with valuable information on your customer. The cards are quickly and easily loaded with the POS system. You then receive the amount of loading in cash. When a customer wants to pay with his or her card, then the corresponding means of payment need only be called in the POS system and the card read in. When lost, a card can be replaced very easily, as the credit is stored in the system and not on the card itself. In addition to the prepaid function, you can also provide individual customers, customer groups, or your entire customer base a credit line in an amount you specify. The classic charging, which has a particularly high retention value for many customers, is thus made more modern, transparent, controllable, and secure. As an alternative, you can also issue cards as vouchers. In contrast to the customer card, these are not issued personalized but rather anonymously. Here as well, processing is carried out via the POS system. You receive the voucher amount of the card in cash and load it on the card. To completely or partially redeem the voucher, a corresponding method of payment is called during the payment process and the card is read in. You have an overview of all customer cards at all times with the extensive real-time evaluation functions. You can view the exact status of all received, redeemed and still unused credit and credit line amounts at all times. The sixth tool is a table reservation. The bonVito table reservation system lets your guests reserve tables in your restaurant quickly and easily online. In this way, your guests can make reservations quickly and easily at any time, even when closed and holidays. With a software module that can be very simply integrated into your existing website, your customers can use the reservation possibility even on your own restaurant website, of course. You manage all reservations in a very clearly designed online reservation book. Here you can see all tables, either for all rooms or also listed separately for each room, and use the timeline to see which tables are occupied when. The red bar always shows the current time for fast orientation. You can select whether online reservations should be entered automatically in this overview, or whether you want to process the reservations beforehand and assign the tables yourself. You can enter telephone reservations directly and add them to the overview. But what about the customers who have not made a reservation, but just appear in the restaurant and occupy a table? How does the reservation system notice that these tables are now occupied and can no longer be reserved? How do you prevent embarrassing double bookings? Conventional reservation systems solve this serious problem in a both simple and disadvantageous manner. In some systems, a time is set up to when online reservations can be made at the latest. After that, no more online reservations are accepted. This might prevent double reservations, but it also hinders revenue. In other systems, only a certain percentage of tables may be electronically occupied. First of all, however, not all reservation conflicts can be prevented in this manner. And secondly, revenue is hindered here as well. bonVito puts an end to these primitive restrictions. Even the table reservation system of bonVito results in unique advantages from the direct connection of POS systems with the bonVito system. In real time, the POS system sends all occupation data to the bonVito system via the internet, including the normal table reservations. As soon as a waiter starts to select a table on the POS, the system knows that this table will now be occupied for a certain period of time. By comparing the online reservations and the reservations entered manually, the system has a complete, live overview of your occupation situation and can immediately and reliably determine whether a reservation is possible for a desired period of time. Even if all tables are occupied at present, the system can determine when the next table will become free lightning fast. In this way, the person making the reservation will not only see that his or her currently desired reservation is not possible, but an alternative will be presented immediately in the next possible time period. The majority of the guests can thus be retained and the capacity of the restaurant can be better filled. This aid is also available to you for the entry of telephone reservations in the online reservation book and relieves your personnel in stress situations. In addition, the system automatically prevents incorrect operation. If a waiter wants to select a table that is reserved for the foreseeable future, he or she will be automatically warned by the POS system. For your guests, this real-time data processing offers a tremendous advantage. They can check live in the internet at any time whether you still have tables free at that point in time. No more annoying phone calls for your guests and for you. Anyone who has needed a table at 8 p.m. on a Friday and forgotten to make a reservation knows what a relief this is. We are certain that many customers will thus make a reservation with a simple click of a mouse button instead of calling half a dozen other restaurants. Offer your customer this advantage and profit from increased revenue. The flexible and fast evaluation of all actions are just as important as the comprehensiveness of the tools of bonVito. Detailed evaluations are always available to you because the system saves a record of all transactions. For example, you can see how many customers are participating, how high the return rate is, how far along the average coupon is, and much more for each individual campaign. To address different customer groups in a targeted way, it is possible to run several different campaigns at the same time. Since you can precisely evaluate each campaign with regard to costs, profit, and acceptance, you no longer need to stumble around in the dark to determine the real effect of your advertising efforts. bonVito delivers measurable success. And it's available for a very attractive price. You can just pay a monthly usage fee and can use bonVito with your existing Vectron POS systems without having to make any additional investments. We're sure that the additional turnover generated and the prevention of fraud during your campaigns will pay for the monthly fee many times over, right from the start. If you don't yet have a Vectron POS system or would like to exchange an old Vectron POS system for a new one, you should inquire about our attractive combination offer of a bonVito contract and a free POS system. This makes bonVito affordable for any company. Or maybe the question is, can you afford not to have bonVito?